Do you want to see the layout of my van and the materials used? Today, let's go on a Wild by the Mile van tour.
Hey everyone and welcome. I'm Liz Bryant, or Wild by the Mile on Instagram. Here are some of the basics of my Mercedes Sprinter. It's a 2016 4-cylinder turbo diesel van. The wheelbase is 144 inches, meaning it's the shortest option that you can buy, and it is a high roof. So if you're 6'3" to 6'4", you can walk around with ease without hitting your head. Now, some people assume that this van is a 4-wheel drive because I have BF Goodrich all-terrain KO2 tires, but in fact, it is a 2-wheel drive. So before you step in, let's talk about this step. This step actually is longer, but I blocked it off with this tongue and groove flooring so that I could create a cubby hole for my tripod. So the first thing that you see when you open up the door is this bench that pulls out to a bed. Let's talk about the cushions first. The bottom cushion is one wide cushion and the backrest are 2 shorter cushions. I didn't want to make one wide backrest cushion because it would impede on the window. From the bench to the bed mode, you just pull this out, it butts up against the sports closet, and you slide the cushions over. So I had the seamstress make buttons on one cushion, holes on the other, or eyes on the other. They could just button in. I've actually never ever used this. They've always just fit together really nice and snug. These cushions are actually a 3-inch foam, and it's a hard foam, so I discovered a few months into van life that I really wasn't sleeping all that well, and because of this seam right here between the cushions, you could feel that at night. Then I went to Bed Bath & Beyond and found this Tempur-Pedic topper, and it makes the cushions feel seamless, like there's not 3 parts to them. You have a soft memory foam on top and a hard base for the bottom cushions. The bench/bed is made out of birch plywood, and it is framed with pine plywood. The throw pillows are a must. Now to get to the guts of the van, all I do is lift up this piece of birch plywood. This is where all the magic happens. This is my Xantrex 2000-watt ProSign inverter. It powers my Vitamix and my laptop. Underneath here is a 16-gallon water tank, which lasts me about a week. Plumbing for the water tank, which carries the water to the faucet, and also the water pressure pump. Over here are 2 AGM 6-volt batteries making up a 12-volt charge, and they have 224 amp hours. This is a battery doctor, which allows these batteries, to charge off the alternator as I drive. And also over here is a Renogy solar control charger.
Taking off the connectors for the batteries and to the inverter so that we can test the batteries.
If you want to see the trouble I had with the batteries and how I had to fight to get them warrantied out and replaced, just head on over to Wild by the Mile on Instagram. If you see those blue circles, click on the one that says troubleshoot. On this side of the bench, I have an extra drawer for extra blankets in the winter. I have a tiny little cubby hole that I put just random miscellaneous things in. A roller for my leg. It takes you back to your childhood. And it's also where I store my propane. Here's another angle of this drawer. It actually pulls out this way, so you don't have to access it every time by pulling up this birch platform. My Sprinter is a cargo van, meaning it came with no windows in the back. It was just a black steel shell. This sliding door window is a T-vent window from C.R. Lawrence, which we were able to go pick the windows up at the San Diego warehouse. This window beside my bed is also a venting one. This C.R. Lawrence window over the kitchen is actually meant for a horse trailer. These backdoor C.R. Lawrence windows are fixed, meaning that you can't open them. Now to the overhead cabinets where I have ample amount of storage. Let's start on this end. I have 1 out of 3 light switches here. This is my solar monitor, a 1-click button to turn on my inverter, and this little switch is for the refrigerator. To hide all the wires from the back of the control center so you won't see them on the inside of the overhead cabinet, I put a piece of wood here. This is from the Container Store, and the company is Perch. These little bends magnetize to this magnetic wall. I have scissors, tape, postcards. The first 2 overhead cabinets are dedicated to bedding. This cabinet has a bin in it for a lot of miscellaneous items. iPhone cords, books, a Bose speaker. This is the remote for my fan. This is the part of van life that gets fancy. I have to admit, I rarely use the juicer, but the Vitamix comes in handy. I not only make smoothies and drinks out of it, but in the winter I make soups, and I also can make hummus and guacamole. Now to the last overhead cabinet, which is where I store towels. So here are my 2 body towels. They're the only 2 body towels that I have
for not only the shower, but also for the beach. And they're Turkish towels, so they're thin and they dry fast. The funny thing is, I have a stack of kitchen towels, way more kitchen towels than I do body towels. And if you're wondering why I have water up here and coming out of the faucet, then watch my last video of what I would do differently in the build. Now to the kitchen, which is probably the most underutilized part of the van, just because I kind of go in waves of liking to cook and then not liking to cook. So this is a quartz countertop, which weighs about 110 pounds. This is marble backsplash subway tile. The faucet and the sink are made by a company, Kraus. The faucet extends out. It extends enough so that I can clean out the wet room when it kind of starts to smell.
And watch this. It cleans out my wet room. Because I had sand all on the bottom.
The sink is 10 inches deep, so if I stick my arms in here, it actually goes up to my elbows. I wanted a deep sink because I'm a procrastinator when it comes to washing dishes.
So I finally washed dishes today. They've been piled up in my sink for weeks, and I use a certain method in hopes I'm conserving water.
Here is my isotherm fridge, which holds about a week's worth of food. This is the pantry. I have silverware and dishes. All of this shelving is mesh shelving by the Container Store. I really like it because when something like honey spills, I can just take this out, wash it down. I can just pop out this drawer and access the propane. Yeah. Are you filming this? I got hungry during the van tour. This is the part of van life you don't see. I eat rice nuggets from Trader Joe's for breakfast and drink a bunch of coconut water, live off of coconut water. This is the Ramblewood cooktop, which runs off of propane. I like it because it boils water fast and it cooks food fast. Underneath the kitchen sink is what you'd find underneath anyone's kitchen sink. Cleaning supplies, Dr. Bronner soap, a trash can, reusable grocery bags, and some rags for when things get really dirty or I want to clean my bike chain. Also, there are 2 light switches under the sink because there are 2 zones of overhead lights. And this is the switch to turn on the water pump. Now, if you see this claw, it looks like a claw. It's actually what keeps this drawer locked. So essentially, this is a locking mechanism. This ball goes into these teeth or this claw, and it keeps it shut. Then to unlock, I just push it in, and it pops out. I have 2 more kitchen drawers. This one dedicated to pots, and this one dedicated to glass Tupperware. This is the most adored piece inside this van. My custom olive wood table with resin. There are 3 pieces of olive wood that came from Clark Gable Stables in LA. San Diego Urban Timber crafted this table, artists Jess and Dan. There is a mounting plate and an arm. It's the Lagoon mounting system. The table just drops down onto this base, so I'm able to rotate the table. I'm also able to increase the height if I want to stand and work on my laptop instead of sitting down for hours editing a video. Now to the 3 closets on the right side of the van. This is the wet room / bathroom. This is my clothes closet, and this is my sports closet. So we'll start with this back closet, the wet room / bathroom. This is my Tempur-Pedic topper, which goes on top of the bed at night. And underneath it is my toilet. Now the toilet is a self-contained toilet, so I do have to dump it once a week at an RV dump station. This entire closet is lined with plastic acrylic and caulking, so it is a wet room. You can shower in this if you want. You can get this wet without any of the wood rotting. I have a good amount of clothes. Here are my hanging clothes, these mesh drawers by the Container Store. My bathroom drawer, anything you would have in your bathroom. And this cubby is for all my shoes. The sports closet, which I have some camera gear in here, as well as a longboard, a yoga mat, a dry sack, a broom. I use this broom all the time because there's endless amounts of sand on the van floor. Chalk bag, a chair, and a little mini hiking backpack, which I also use for skiing. When there are dirty rags or wet rags, I actually just throw them up here and allow them to dry. These hooks are also from the Container Store. This hook I really like because it allows me to hang towels for them to dry. Let me show you how these curtains magnetize onto this steel frame. It's really simple. On the back of the curtain is a black piece of fabric. On the front of the curtain is the white fabric that I use in the other parts of the van. And around the outside, you can see the magnets. On the inside of this is Reflectix. For privacy at night for this window, I have a roller shade, which it's a blackout roller shade from the Home Depot that I'm just able to pull down. This curtain allows for privacy on the side door and also the front of the van. It's also on a sliding track. This is called acrylic dyed solution. It's just a fancy phrase for waterproof and stain-proof fabric. And the company is Perennials. I've been in the van for a year and you can see that the fabric, the cushions are still super white. I can spill red wine on this and it will come out. It actually kind of like bubbles up. I've spilt water on this so many times and I literally just wipe it up. And then watch this. I have really dirty feet. I can wipe dirt on it because I track dirt and mud in this van quite a lot. And all I do is I take a rag and it's like new. When the dirt piles up on these cushions after a few months, I'm able to unzip them, take them off, and throw them in the wash, and they come out sparkling white again. On the ceiling is the Fantastic fan. A tip for you, do not buy the Fantastic fan that has the rain sensor. That's because at the slightest amount of dew or fog, it turns off. As for the wood on the ceiling, the cabinets, and the walls, it's all made out of birch. I have to admit it's the dirtiest part of the van. There is tons of sand caked in on here as well as dirt. My feet are constantly dirty because of this. This is tongue and groove, so it just snaps together. I didn't find flooring that I liked at a home improvement store like Lowe's or Home Depot. I just felt like it looked too fake when it was vinyl or laminate. It didn't have enough detail. And so I found this at a flooring specialty shop because it had a good amount of knots and a good amount of grain in the wood.
I climb up to the roof using this ladder made by Illumines out of San Diego. And once I'm on the roof, you can see that there is a cargo storage box and 2 solar panels. So let's start with the solar panels. They're made by Renogy Solar out of Ontario, California, and this is a 200-watt system. These panels are the Eclipse panels. They are advertised to be more efficient. I actually bought them because they were the only panels that fit on the roof where I could have 2 panels, a 200-watt system. I absolutely love them, and the solar is powering my batteries. It's keeping them fully charged. If you want to know the gas mileage of the Sprinter and how much I spent building out the van, watch episode 2 on this YouTube channel. Next Sunday, I'll show you the chores that I do every week. They're similar to your household chores, except you likely don't have to perform my grossest weekly chore. I'll show you what it is next Sunday, 7 p.m. West Coast time. As always, safe travels.